Hi, this is Chris, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be having a look at Edmodo, a free website that allows you to communicate with the children in your class through discussions and also sharing files and assignments with them. It's a really good online learning space to promote collaboration and the sharing of good ideas. To get started, all you have to do is click here to sign up as a teacher. I'm going to enter my details and then click on sign up. So as you can see, my desired username is available, so I now click on sign up and it will log me into the system. Now Edmodo is based around the concept of groups. A group could be a class perhaps, or it could even be just a table within your class. Messages are sent to groups, so the children can't use Edmodo to communicate with each other directly, but rather to share a message either with the whole class or with a group of children. This is fantastic as it reduces the chance of it simply being used as an instant messenger client. I'm going to create a couple of groups for my class, so to do that I'll click on Create. I'm now going to enter the name for my group and I'm going to call this Red Group Maths. And I'll click on Create. And as you can see, Red Group Maths has been created. I'm going to create another group by clicking Create and I'll call this Science Discussion. And then I'll click on Create. As you can see, that group has now been created as well. Now I can customize these groups by clicking this icon here. I can choose a group color to help differentiate one group from the other. I can also click here to have a look at the members of the group. Now at the moment I'm the only member as the teacher. I automatically become a member of every single group that I create. The children will have to register for each group they'd like to be a part of, so children aren't automatically a member of the group. But that actually works really well because it means children could be a member, let's say, of Red Group Maths, whereas another group of children might be a member of Yellow Group Maths. I'm going to click here to go back to the home page and then I'm going to click on the icon again to get the code for this group. Each group has a unique code which the children must use to join the group. So as you can see, my code for Red Group Maths is IHZ511. So what I have to do is write that up on my board somewhere or give that to the children somehow so they could join that group. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log out now as the teacher and create a pupil account and then join this group. Right, I'm now going to click to sign up as a student and you'll notice that I'm asked for the group code. This is the code that was created by the teacher when they created the group. So I'm going to enter that code, IHZ511, then I'm going to enter my user details. So as you can see, the username I've selected is already taken, so I'm going to have to add a suffix of some sort. Let's try 123. As you can see, that's available, so I can now carry on. Now if the children have an email address and you're happy for them to do this, they could enter their email address here. The benefit of this is that they'll automatically receive an email when new posts are made, but I'm going to leave this blank for the time being. And I'll click here to sign up. As you can see, I'm now logged in as James Bryant, and on the left hand side I've got the list of groups which I'm a member of. As you can see, I'm only a member of Red Group Maths. Now if I wanted to send a message to this group as James Bryant, all I have to do is click here to enter my message. So once I've entered my message, I click here to select who I'd like to send it to. I could click on the group or I could type in part of the group name to limit the list. So I want to send this to everybody who's a member of Red Group Maths. So I'll type in Red. And then I can click on the name and click send. As you can see, the message has automatically appeared on my page without me having to refresh. This is really important as it means the children can collaborate in a more instant style, seeing messages in real time. I'm going to log out as James now and log back in as the teacher to create some more groups. Right, as you can see, I've now created some more groups. Just going to create one more which I'm going to use for SATs revision. And I'll click on Create. Now I've got a problem with this group. You can see at the top it says that this group already exists, and unfortunately group names aren't unique to your account. They're unique to the whole Edmodo system. So that means that somebody else, some other user, has already got the group name SATs revision. So I'm going to prefix this just maybe with my class name. So I'll click on Create and I'll call this Falcon's SATs revision. Prefixing your groups with your class name is a really good way of making sure you end up with a unique name that's very unlikely for somebody else to have. So as you can see, I've now got all my groups on the left hand side. So each of these are groups that the children can post to. So if the children were members of the Green Group Spellings group, then they could send a message to that group and everybody else who's in that group can see those messages. If the children aren't a member of the Green Spellings group, then they won't see the message. This is a really good way of separating out the messages so that the inbox doesn't become full of things that aren't relevant to all the children. It is probably worth having one general discussion group which every child is a member of, which you can use for general messages. So let me show you some of the different types of messages that can be sent. I could send a note, which is just a standard text message. So I'll click here and enter my message. So there's my message, and I'm going to send this to Science Discussion. So I'll click in the Send To box and type in SC, which will filter my list, showing me Science Discussion. I'll click on it and then press Send. So now everyone who's a member of the Science Discussion group will see that message. Another type of message we can send is a link. This is a hyperlink to a website. So I'm going to find a website that has some information about our solar system. Okay, I found a website that I'd like the children to use, so I'm going to click on the URL or the web address, right click and choose copy. I'm then going to go back to Edmodo and paste this into the website box. So I'll right click and choose paste. Now when I click out of that box, it's actually going to go and get the title for that web page and automatically insert it. I could leave that as it is, or I could actually change this if I wish, so I'm going to select all of that and type in my own message. Now again, I'd like to send this to the Science Discussion group, so I'll click here and type in SC, select Science Discussion and click on Send. As you can see, that's now automatically appeared in my list of messages with a link to the website. We can also use the link option to include embeddable sections of websites. So these might be things like videos from YouTube or embeddable games. Let me give you an example. Right, I found a video that I'd like the children to watch, and you'll see in the top right hand corner we have some embed code. Basically, embed code allows you to take a video or some other element from a page and put it directly into your own website. So it's not linking to the actual page, it's just taking the information you'd like from a page. So here the embed code will actually allow me to place this video on my Edmodo page. So I'll click on the embed code, right click and choose copy, and then go back to Edmodo, right click in the embed box and choose paste. I'm now going to give this a name for my video, and then I'll send this to the Science Discussion group. And you'll notice when this message appears that it actually embeds the video from YouTube, so the children can watch this video directly without having to go to the YouTube page. So the benefit of this is the children can watch the YouTube video directly within Edmodo. This saves them time, it's more convenient, and also it means the children aren't exposed to various unpleasant comments that they might see if they watch the YouTube video on the YouTube website. So that's how we can use the link option to direct children to websites or content from websites. I'm now going to show you how we can use the file option to send a file to children. This is really good for distributing homework, as it removes the old excuse of "my dog ate my homework." The children can simply log into Edmodo and download a fresh copy. So to get started, I'm going to enter a short description for this piece of homework, and this is going to be the green group spellings. And then I'll click on Browse and select that piece of homework from my documents. I'm now going to choose who I'd like to send this to, and obviously this is going to the green group spellings group. I'll click on that group and click Send. And as you can see, that file's now been uploaded and is embedded in a message that has been sent to that group. So my yellow group spellers won't see this message because they're not a member of this group. So it means the children only see the homework that's relevant to them. To open that document, all they have to do is click on the link and it will open that PDF. We can also use this to send other types of files. I'm going to send an MP3 file to a child who I know is struggling to learn their times tables. So this is a times tables chart, which I've recorded using Audacity. I'll click Browse to find the file, and then click Open. Now I'm going to send this to James Bryant, who is the individual who's having this difficulty. Obviously, if it was relevant to a whole group, I'd type in the group name. So then I'll click on Send. So this is now going to upload that file, and it will appear in my list when it's available. Now, one of the main differences between a teacher account and a pupil account is that teachers can send messages directly to individuals. So that enables me to send this message directly to James. The children can send messages to teachers, but they can't send messages directly to each other, only to a group. So as you can see, that MP3 file has now been embedded within the message, and all the child has to do is click on play to listen to the times tables chant. This time I'm going to call the questions out in a random order. I'll leave a gap after each chant for you to... So that's how we can use the file option to send out files. But we can also send out assignments. The The difference between an assignment and a file is that we can enter a due date of when the assignment or homework is due in, and we can also use it to check back who's handed in the homework. So to access that, I have to click on the More drop-down option and select Assignment. I'm going to give my assignment a title and then enter a brief description. And then finally, I select when this homework is due in. I'm going to give the children a week to do it, so I'm going to say it's due in on Monday the 22nd of February. If I want to add a file, I can do, so I click on Browse and select my file. And I'm going to send this to Orange Group Spellings. So all the members of the Orange Group Spelling Group will now see a new message, an assignment, which will outline what they've got to do and when that is due in. When the children return the homework, it will appear in my list. Let's see what assignments look like from a pupil point of view. I've logged in now as James Bryant, who's a member of the Orange Group Spellings, and so has received this assignment. As you can see, it's appeared in their message list, and there are also flags to the fact that an assignment is due in the spotlight. I could even click on this to see exactly what assignment is due in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the list of spellings, do my homework, and then turn it in, which basically means hand in my homework. Right, as you can see, I've now finished my homework of coming up with a sentence for each of those words, and I'm ready to turn it in. So what I'm going to do is click on the Turn In button here, and I can now add a file. So I'm going to add my homework file. If I wanted, I could add a response as well as some feedback to the teacher. And then when I'm ready, I click on Turn In Assignment. As you can see, my message is added to the assignment list, and when I go back home, I no longer have an assignment that's due in. As you can see, I no longer have the Turn In button on this message, but instead it's telling me that I'm waiting for my grade. If this was a piece of homework where it was appropriate for the teacher to enter a mark out of 20, then when that piece of homework has been marked, it will automatically appear here. I'm now logged in again as the teacher, and you can see from the top right hand corner that I have one turned in assignment. So when I click on that, we'll see that James Bryant has turned in his weekly spellings test, and I can click on this to see his message and also to take a look at his piece of work. Now they all look good to me, so he's got 10 out of 10 correct, so I can give that a score here, and I can also type in a comment. And then when I'm happy, I can click to post that grade. So when James logs in now, he'll see that his assignment has been graded. So that's how we can use Edmodo to send assignments. Let me show you another message type, this time a poll. A poll is simply a vote that we can set up with the children. So I'm going to enter my poll question. Then I'm going to enter the possible responses. I'm going to want more than 2 options, so I'm going to click to add a few more answers. And then once I've got all my options, I choose who I'm going to send this to. This is relevant to the whole class, so I'm going to send it to everyone. And then I'll click on Send. Now because I created the poll, I'm not able to vote, but when the children log in, they'll actually be able to select their choice from the list and click on the Vote button. Their vote will then be cast, and they'll see the results on their screen. So that's how we can use Edmodo to send a poll. The final type of message we can send is an alert. An alert is a short text message which appears in bolder text at the top of their screen. Let me give you an example of where this might be used. I've got a message here which I'd like the children to see, so I'm going to use an alert to send this message, simply to make it appear nice and bold on their screens. I'm going to send this to everyone. And as you can see, that appears as a bolder font at the top of their list of messages. So those are all the different types of messages we can send using Edmodo, but it's useful to know how to use the filters so you can quickly jump to different types of messages. So for example, if I wanted to see all the polls that I'd created, I could simply click on Polls from the filters and it will only show me all my polls. Let's take a look at the files. As you can see, it's showing me all the files that I've sent out to my group. So once I've finished looking at the filtered list and I want to see everything, I simply click on Close Files. It's now showing me all of the messages and all the communication that's going on. As you can see, I've got a direct message from James to myself asking me for some help. This would also appear in the direct link on the left. This is basically filtering out all the messages that are between 2 individuals. So a message from myself to a pupil or a message from a pupil to myself. So the direct button is another useful way of filtering out your messages. As well as filtering direct messages, I can also look in individual groups. So I can click on a group name to see just the messages that are part of that group. Of course, clicking everything at the top will show me all messages for all groups. So that's how we can use Edmodo to enable communication within our class. We can communicate with children directly or facilitate children communicating as a group, talking about the things they're learning in their classroom. To finish, I'm going to show you the settings page to show you how you can customize your experience within the site. One of the first things you'll want to do, and one of the first things the children will want to do, is to create an avatar, an image to represent them when using the Edmodo website. You've got a number of options here which the children could click on to select their avatar, or they could upload an image that they've created themselves. In tutorial 15 I showed you how to create an avatar image, and I'm going to use that file now. So I'll click on Browse, select my avatar image and click on Open. And as you can see, my avatar image has been uploaded. I'm now going to customize the notifications. These are emails that I receive when certain activity takes place on the website. So I'd like to receive a new email when there's a new direct message, when there's a new assignment, or when there's a new reply. And then I'll click on Save Notifications to make those changes. So there we go, that's how we can use Edmodo to facilitate the communication within our class. If you're thinking about a virtual learning environment or a virtual learning platform for your classroom, then Edmodo is a really good way of dipping your toe into the water. Thanks very much for watching, and good luck getting started with Edmodo.